Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. This is Let's Talk with Kay, and it is a beautiful Sunday. Today is June 8th, 2025. I apologize for the lateness. I normally have my videos out at 7 a.m. local time, but it's just been I guess a crazy week. I just kind of in my feels, nothing bad. It's just hormones or whatever. But honestly, overall, I've been having a good week. But yes, like I said in my last video, I'm coming out with part 2 of basically my take on religion, all major religions, basically the Abrahamic religions, the triad, as I call it. And I said I wanted to have a more comprehensive, in-depth conversation about it, but not very long. And so yeah, let's get started. But before I get farther into it, I will say welcome to my new subscribers. I appreciate each subscriber that I have. Is saying that I'm doing something right. I must be interesting or whatever, so I do appreciate it. The comments and all that, I appreciate that too. And let me go ahead and get started. As far as religion, I would say the major reason why I feel like people need to just kind of give up religion overall and just become spiritual. Number one, the major one is it is the basis of all patriarchy. When you think about patriarchy, basically I will say in financial, households, jobs, all that type of stuff, it seemed like the overall dynamic, as far as the people in the household, is that the man is, like, in a sense, the boss, the ruler, the head of the household, because he's a man. I know in Christianity, I guess the basis of that patriarchy is, one, everything came from a man. The world was created basically by, first the man came, he came into the world, I guess, if I remember correctly, that he was formed of the dust or whatever, that type of deal. And then the woman came along, but the woman came from the man's rib. So it's like, in a sense, the man birthed the woman. And then, so he's the start of everything. And also, I know in the Bible, they talk about, not Moses, but I guess Abraham, like, everybody coming from the seed of Abraham, and they're gonna be like millions and millions of people in the future and all that from him. So basically, the start of humankind is basically from man, if you get my drift. And of course, the woman came from the rib in the Christian text. And the thing is with that, first of all, it's 2025. And I haven't heard of anybody, I never, as far as a male, born a male, I'm not talking about a trans male, I'm talking about just person born as a male. I ain't never seen one of them hoes having a baby. So it's like that big contradiction. So it's like, if it happened once before, why it didn't never happen again? You know what I'm saying? It's out of order. And I thought God wasn't the author of confusion. Like in the Bible, if you know the Bible, you know who the author of confusion is. So it's like, wait a minute. And people got to think about this. Like, wait a minute. a person came from a man, but it never happened again. But of course, I know I'm not gonna get too deep in the Bible, but I know they talk about after Eve bit the fruit, sin came in to the earth. But the thing is, boy, I can get deep into this. I need to have a live one day, maybe on YouTube or TikTok, because I don't want to make this video very long. But I'm like, but in the Bible, they mention something about her having, I guess, a tree of knowledge and a tree of life. When I think of the tree of life, I'm thinking creation, life coming from, and then knowledge, a woman having knowledge. So I guess the world came to shits because a woman had gained more knowledge and basically created her life. People can get deeper into that, but that just came to me. So it's like, so basically the earth became something that's just detrimental or whatever because of life and knowledge. I mean, that don't even make any sense to me. So, I mean, I can go deeper, but it's a short video. So I guess if she never bit the tree of life and the tree of knowledge, Adam and Eve would have been just like bumbling fools, living on earth for God knows how long. So anyways, and then their life was cut short even though they ate the tree of life. That don't even make any sense either. But let's get on to it. So because of that, think about it, I think over 90%, the number might have decreased since then. That the majority of the world is religious and Christian in all other religions. So even though, like, say in the United States, they say there's a separation between religion and government. If a person have that mindset, there's really technically no separation of it at all. So you'll get high. Oh, cute dogs. Oh. So when you think about it, yeah, there is a separation according to, I guess, I don't know, the Constitution or whatever. But when you think about it, when people are running the government, people are running businesses, whether large or small, people are running, you know, different type of entities, because of their mindset, it's not going to be a separation. It don't make any sense. So of course they're going to bring their beliefs into those entities. So guess what you're going to get? You're going to get basically, I guess, a patriarchy. The world is run by men. This is a man's world, according to that singer. I can't even think of his name right now. That singer, it's a man's world. You know, and women been losing for centuries. I'm not even going to say decades or whatever, generations, women been losing for centuries in this. And because of patriarchy, for example, you got the nuclear family, and of course they say the man is the head of the family. And to me, just because that male, because he's I guess that person born with I ain't trying to be too vulgar, but a dick, you know, that means that, oh, he's smart, he's educated, he's this and that, just because he's born a man. So when a woman is in that marriage, especially going to church or synagogue or, you know, the temple or whatever, that man, I don't care what that woman think, oh, I'm independent, I'm this. At the end of the day, subconsciously, that woman gonna be like, okay, this man basically is the head of the household. So if we have like some type of argument, or this, not even an argument, a disagreement, who is going to, in a sense, have the ultimate decision in that household? That man. In other words, and I guess in a healthy household, Christian household, for example, using Christianity as an example, um, the woman going to end up acquiescing to that man just to kind of keep the peace. And if that woman decide, I'm not going to acquiesce, that man going to end up feeling emasculated, because he going to like, dang, I'm the head of the household and I don't make no decisions. If they are very, very religious. I'm talking about very religious people here. So, and then on top of that, in a sense, that woman who's in that relationship or in that marriage, if she have to acquiesce, or the man makes the decisions, it's like the whole dynamics of that household is going to be based on that man's feelings, that man's, I guess, beliefs and things like that. So in a sense, a woman gonna end up being kind of feeling more smaller, feeling less empowered, and it less creative, less, it's like she gotta make herself a lot smaller, to me. And then next thing you know, you got a divorce. I mean, divorce rates are still high. They've been, ever since a woman was able to divorce men, it's like the rates just skyrocketing and skyrocketing. They still high. So if it's meant for a man and a woman, or marriage per se, I'm just gonna say marriage. If it's meant for people to be married, to me, in my opinion, it shouldn't be that hard work, that much hard up. It shouldn't be hard work, It should be like just a peaceful marriage or whatever. But it's so much, I guess, turmoil or whatever, that women are the main ones that initiate the marriages, and they end up, not initiating the marriages, initiating divorces. So they end up getting divorced, and the divorce rates are really high. So, but yeah, but I just want to say patriarchy as far as jobs, of course, in 2025, the men are making a lot more money than women. They can make a lot. I mean, you'll hear it in media and books, whatever. They kind of give excuses as to why men make more money. It's told that women don't negotiate. But at the end of the day, I feel like, yeah, a woman has to have some responsibility, but in, negotiating the pay. But at the end of the day, men are making more money than women. And then on top of that, look at the world right now, as far as patriarchy, especially in countries that are, I guess, religious based, that the women are miserable. I mean, they can say they're not, but if you have, I'm trying not to make the YouTube gods unhappy, or the algorithm gods unhappy on YouTube, but it's just like, you can see those countries, and to me they look destitute. You got wars going on like for centuries upon centuries. Who is enacting all that? Men. Women don't have any say. And to me, when there's, at the end of the day, women and men are equally important. And I feel like patriarchy is bringing an imbalance in the world. And I feel like if men look at women as human, and women recognize the power that we have as a collective, then I feel like these wars, it will be no wars. Women have abilities and strengths that can equalize the man's, or balance out the strengths of a man. So that's why, I mean, honestly, we are not enacting all these wars. So that's why I feel like it basically, with religion, the basis of patriarchy is religion, and it's an imbalance in the world, and there's no peace in the world. We got wars, and also we got greed and all this other type of stuff due to patriarchy. I can go more and more details about that, but I don't want to make this a very, very long video. I'm just pretty much giving my input. And also, I would say in religion, there's no freedom to be your authentic self. And I want to mention a comment that I, received. And I mean, it's not a bad comment or, anything like that. And the comment, let me see if I remember. Basically, the commenter understand that religion is a program, which is correct. It is a program to control the masses. And but at the same time, it is, I guess, in a sense, I mean, I'm just trying to go off based on this comment. I guess it's good to have in order to, for people to do good. And I can kind of disagree on that. And the reason why I disagree on that, I feel like, I would say, trying to be respectful and all that. So let me make sure my wording is respectful. I feel like, or if a person, I'm gonna say a person, if a person is inherently quote unquote bad, I put it that way, a person is bad, a person is inherently mean-spirited, a person is inherently evil, in my opinion, church will not, or any religion will not fix that. If a person is inherently good, they are kind, a person is inherently a kind person. All this stuff to me, what I'm saying, a person is inherently kind, mean-spirited, so on and so forth. And a church in itself will not change that. A church can, or religion, because they got churches, they got, different religions, Abrahamic religions that contribute to the community, as a collective. But at the same time, when you look at a person's heart, I feel like that group or that religion is not going to change a person. So, for example, I know I said in this start, the second point was being your authentic self. I guess it's kind of going into that. I guess it's the prequel to that point. But let me just going with this. Say, for example, I'm just going to use my cats, my two cats. My cats did not have to be trained to go to the litter box. That knowing is in their DNA, in their genetics. So all I had to do as a person as a cat parent, was put a litter box out. And as kittens, not as grown cats, as kittens, I will use the example of my one of my cats who I got when they were like 8 weeks old or whatever. I just had to set a litter box out. Nobody ever had to train a cat to go to the litter box. They just know to do that. And as people, I feel like the person really had to train a person. You have to teach a person not to kill. It's wrong to kill. You will know as a person whether it's wrong. Like that is kind of wrong in my spirit. But if you have that spirit in you genetically, or just a family curse, a generational curse or whatever. Something like, for example, if you're a psychopath, you they will diagnose you as a psychopath. It can be, I'm not sure. I listened to this guy's video. I guess his name, well, he's a doctor. I ain't gonna say guy. He's a doctor named Sam Barkin. And he goes into, he's pretty much the expert at narcissism, psychopathic, antisocial type of behaviors, borderline personalities. He's a psychiatrist, and he gets into the research and things of that nature. So some of this stuff is genetics, some is caused by abuse, trauma, or whatever. That don't mean, the point I'm trying to make is, if it's in that person to be abusive, to be narcissistic, and things of that nature, church is not going to change that. It's basically, you got people that don't go to church, or they used to go to church and decided not to. And these people, I would say including me at the time, was like, dude, I went to church, whether due to just wanting to go to a different church, or just because I moved and went to a different church. It's like, I never really got anything out of church. I didn't want to get too close to church because I felt like I couldn't totally be myself. Like, for example, they say it's a sin to curse. I'm like God got so intimidated by a little old human cuss word that's made up, like shit, just making up shit, or or just the word shit, just like, I'm going to take you to hell because I don't like that. It's just a word. Yes, you ain't gonna go to work be like cussing, a certain decorum, like, duh, it's just use some common sense. But if you in your home or whatever, it's like, I can't curse or whatever because it's a sin, or it's just not becoming of a Christian. I'm like, and then on top of that, depending on what other type of churches you go to or religions, you can't dress, you don't have a freedom to dress the way you want to. And then on top of that, you can't talk. It seemed like, I don't know about anybody else, but I know going to church, I felt like I really could not be myself at all. And in spirituality, being your most authentic self is like the highest form of vibration. Yeah, of course, you got to put into what do you do in karma and all that. But at the end of the day, if you your true self, and you're being kind, but yet you got boundaries and all that type of stuff, it's like, that's the highest form of vibration, not the highest, but one of the highest forms of, I guess, your spirituality. I put it that way. Because you being your true authentic self, when you become your true authentic self, nobody cannot easily manipulate you. Nobody can't easily make you conform to a certain doctrine, a certain this or a certain that. Nobody can't force you to do things that you really don't feel like doing. You basically your most, and then when you, on top of that, when you are your most truest authentic self, you got to equate love in that as well, because you love yourself to the point where it's like, dude, if you don't accept me for who I am, then maybe I'm not your cup of tea. Maybe you like some other people. And another thing is, because I really love myself and I feel like I'm my most authentic, I feel like it kind of repels people that want to come in and, be narcissistic, who want to manipulate me, want to control me. It's like the best repellent. And I feel like I got freedom. I don't have to, I have freedom to choose and do whatever I want to do. If I want to like move out of the country, for example, I don't have to worry about, well, what will the church say or anything like that. And so I don't really have to worry about that. If I want to move out, I'm like, bam, I'm gone. And another thing, church is really big on, I would say, probably indirectly, maybe not in some churches, depending on the leader. It seemed like, how should I put this? It seemed like for example, if you're in a bad abusive marriage and you like dying inside, or you're gonna be dying by the hands of somebody, whichever comes first, it seemed like a lot of churches will be like, well, God hates divorce. And to me, it's like, so basically encourage that person, more than likely a woman, to stay in that abusive marriage. Oh, just pray about it. Oh, just pray for that person. And them prayers, probably not 10 times out of 10, when you're dealing with an abusive person, don't work. And that woman end up leaving, like, fuck it, I'm leaving, I don't care what the damn church say. Or they like die from a slow die and end up outliving, the man end up outliving the woman, because she ended up dying from diseases or whatever, or just illnesses, autoimmune diseases and stuff, because of the stress, the chaos, the abuse that she had to endure. And on top of that, it's like, when you really think about it, they say God is your father. I'm like, I'm not a man. I'm just gonna say the mother. I'm your mother. Why would I want my child, unless I'm a narcissist, unless I'm a psychopath or whatever, why would I want my child to be in an abusive, toxic relationship? Why will I encourage my child to stay in an abusive relationship? I won't. Unless, like I said, I'm a toxic, narcissistic, I'm a psychopath, or whatever, and just like, girl, just stay in that marriage. Girl, just, dude, just stay in that marriage. That woman ain't doing nothing to you. I hate that. I hate my child being, and right now I'm dealing with this in real life. I hate my child being abused. I love divorce. I love divorces because it gives the woman a freedom to at least leave. If that woman is being abused in any type of way, form, shape, or fashion, I love divorce because she can get the fuck on up out of there. Like, in spirituality, I feel like I can be my most authentic self. Spirituality don't mean you can do everything you want to do, this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, everybody is a spiritual person, no matter what religion you are. What does that mean? What that means is the universe gonna do what the universe gonna do, whether you're religious or not. And my thing is, I don't want to be that one that, because of karma or whatever, come back on this earth, reincarnate. Universe don't care. The creator, the true creator, don't care about, if you're in church. What are you doing with your life? Are you being your true authentic self? Are you doing things out of obligation, or are you doing it out of love? Are you setting the boundaries for yourself? Because a lot of times I feel like church it's not really teaching you about being your better self. It's basically they don't teach you about your intuition or whatever. It's like the responsibilities are outside of yourself, in a sense. Like I mentioned in my last video, it's like if your life is chaotic, it's due to the devil and his henchmen. If your life is great, like you got into this college or you bought this house or whatever, it's due to God. And then that same house causing high bills and this, that, and the other, it's the devil. It's like, but it's like in spirituality, everything is zoomed in on you as far as accountability. You gotta learn how to be a master, like a video game. We live in the Matrix. You gotta take the control and be like, okay, what do I need to do to make my life a lot better? So it's like, church don't really teach about self-love or anything like that. It teaches that God loves you, but it don't teach you really how to love yourself, how to create those boundaries. And that's gonna reflect on your job, how you take your job. It's going to reflect on how you raise your kids, how you, if you're in a relationship, it's going to reflect how you act in that relationship, all that type of stuff. They're going to reflect on what type of partners you choose for yourself. And I would say with spirituality, there's a practice of meditation and aloneness. Yeah, they have that in the church, like go in your prayer closet, for example. But I'm like, but at the same time, the majority of the time is go to church on Sunday, go to church on Wednesday, go to church on, I forgot what they call those. If they have like some type of program or whatever during the week to show that you're a Christian. You pretty much being around people. It's not encouraged to spend some time reflecting. I guess some people say even meditation is a sin, which is meditation is basically reflecting on the inside, basically. Just, okay, let me just meditate and see if I get some answers. This, that, and other. I really don't want to make this video very, very long. So maybe I'll do a part 3 on this. My channel is basically, just spirituality, health, fitness, lifestyle, so on and so forth. And I believe that, this is an important topic. So the main thing, I guess the main takeaways is that it's the foundation of patriarchy and you have less freedom. I'll probably come back with a part 3 on that discussion, but yeah, so whoever stayed afterwards, not stayed afterwards, but whoever stayed this long, I appreciate you listening. If you enjoy this topic or previous topics and look forward to future topics, subscribe to my channel, like, and all that. And I guess it's the bonus. I know it's been a long video, but this is a bonus. As far as my weight loss, I feel like it's going okay. I feel like I did lose some weight. It kind of gained water weight or whatever. It's slow, but right now, yesterday, I was kind of like, I went on a food binge, I guess. The snacks. That's the thing. I'm not craving Cheez-It, so I think my iron deficiency is normalizing, so that's a good thing. But I'm like, look, I just ordered a plan. This is what you're gonna do, and I'm using Noom, and as I started reading more into the lessons of Noom, I'm like, dang, it's like this stuff is coming at the right time, these lessons. Because like when more you exercise, the hungrier you get. I'm like, yes. When you lose more weight, the food seems more tempting. It's like you're looking at food in more of a rose-colored form. Like, oh man, that pizza looks so good. And then also, it's like you or underestimate your calories that you need. A lot of this I just read these previous days. So it's like, thank you. I like Noom understands. Noom, N as in Nancy, OOM as in Mary. So I was like, you understand? Because at one point I'm like, oh my God, like I'm not sure if I'm going to lose weight. But then it's like everything that's happening is happening because I'm making changes. So that's a good thing to know, I guess you can say. It's a good thing to know. Now it's like, okay, I'm going to stick to this amount of what I'm going to eat. I'm not going to overestimate, because that's what I tend to do, is overestimate. And yeah, I would say health wise, even though I lost my weight loss is not as fast. I feel like my body has made changes. I feel like my waist is smaller, my stomach is flatter. I'm not as bloated as I used to be. My fibroids are shrinking. I had my appointment with my doctor, my follow-up after my surgery, and basically I guess what I was going through were like cramping and this, that, and the other. She basically was like, that's just your fibroids being angry. You know, they ain't getting the blood they need, them little vampires. So they just kind of like shrinking and leaving my body. So that's pretty good. So my energy levels is better. I'm getting more sleep. I think I mentioned in my last video, but if not, I ran a really fast 5K. I think it was last week. I think early last week, I ran 38 minutes and like 35 seconds or something like that. So I'm still training for that, and I kind of know what I need to do. My goal for this next 5K is to run between 30 and 35 minutes, and I want to place. So I want to at least place first, second, and third place within my age group. Once I place, oh, my daughter is calling. Just a second. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, overall I'm feeling more healthier. I don't feel like I'm having mood swings due to my the hormones and fibroids and stuff. And what I was gonna mention before my daughter interrupted, dang, I forgot. I don't want to go back to the video and be like rewind and just see what I was gonna say. But yeah, so I'm feeling a lot better. But fibroids are really shrinking. Oh yeah, as far as placing, my goal, I have a 5K coming up next month. So my goal is to place in my age group, first, second, and third. I might do another 5K after that. I'm not sure yet. I might do one, and if I do, it's probably going to be sometime late fall, early winter, and see if I place again, like if I had some improvement or whatever. I mean, this is my hobby. I like running. And then once I do, Siri's like, my Siri listening to my conversation. And then once I do that, then I'm pretty much gonna start training. Why is Siri? I better stop saying her name, because it's like she's bugging. But anyways, I plan on training for a 10K. So that means I'm gonna need to wake up a little bit earlier in the mornings, so I can have time to run and work and all this type of stuff. But yeah, so that's a little bit about me right now, what's going on in my life. I send light and love to you guys. Please send it to me and my family. And like I mentioned, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.